Two trucks having sex. Two trucks having sex. My muscles involuntarily flex. Two trucks having sex. Two trucks having sex. My muscles involuntarily flex. Two pickup trucks making love, American made.
Listen up, Autobots and Decepticlowns. You're listening to Prime Cuts, a non-linear history of the Transformers franchise on television. I'm one of your hosts, Audrey.
I'm your other host, Nero.
And hey, it's been a few weeks, but we're here to wrap up G1 before I leave the country for a month.
Yeah, so we're coming off of one hiatus to briefly grace your ears and then going on another longer hiatus.
But hey, there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and that light is called Dark of the Moon.
What a beautiful, glorious light it is.
Nero's not letting me get away with this one. It's actually pretty remarkable that I've timed my vacations for every time we would have hosted one of these movies so far. But they are not letting me get away with this one, and that's fair.
I let you escape Revenge of the Fallen. You cannot escape Dark of the Moon. I will not allow you to escape the one where Optimus says, "We'll kill them all."
Yeah, listen. Like I said, it's fair. They're cruel but harsh but fair, as my father would say.
Yes. So if I sound somewhat different, it's probably because I'm in a new place recording from a brand new house that I have moved, which is part of the reason for the hiatus. The other reason is because I had to get some dental stuff dealt with, and that took a whole long time to heal. But hey, I'm back now. I'm feeling great.
Yeah, you know. Hot girl problems. We're hot like you. We have problems too.
But you're not here to hear
we're just like you. We're just like you. We're having problems too, except we're hot. There we go. That's how that goes.
You're not here to hear about my fucked up teeth, though. You're here to hear about Generation 1.
Season 1, which isn't even the best season of it, but boy, was it a banger anyway.
I forgot how already, fucked up Season 1 of G1 gets in. It's the most sensible one. This is like the fucking normal season of G1, really.
Yeah. I mean, I guess Season 3 is also pretty normal.
There's some weird shit that happens. You're forgetting about the episode where Galvatron goes to therapy, and also the one where it's entirely an opera.
I'm not forgetting about either of those things. I'm just remembering the ancient Mayan ruins.
Oh boy.
In Season 1. I'm just remembering the shit that happens in Season 1. Here's the issue with being a Transformers fan in the 21st century. It's that it actually peaked in 1985, I guess.
Yeah, G1 is a hoot, as always.
This is the best there ever was, and best there ever will be.
There is, there are obviously better television shows in terms.
There are not. Hard disagree.
In terms of animation, writing, voice acting.
Nope.
But is there any Transformers show that's more fun to watch? I'm not sure.
This is not only the peak of television, this is the peak of all entertainment. This is it. Why did anyone even try after this?
We should have just stopped making everything after 1985.
Yeah, listen, this is now a prestige podcast, okay? We're done. We're not. There's nowhere to go from here. Except for Season 2.
That's
so
right,
you get 2 more seasons of this, and it's just G1, and now we're a prestige podcast.
That's right. We're gonna join fucking Forever Dog or whatever.
Listen, these episodes, and we didn't do a lot. There aren't a lot of episodes in this season for us of the podcast. I mean, specifically because there aren't a lot of episodes in the Season 1 of G1. But the episodes that Nero and I produced, I think are definitely our best. And that's not because we were particularly on our game. It's because the source material was so much fun.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's we've done lots of good character analysis and talking about animation ever, but it's just simply recapping what happens on screen in G1 is the funniest thing in the world. with like mostly unaltered, mostly unblemished, just like telling you all what happens on screen is insane.
I think I'm going to, when we get to season 2, I'm going to watch the entire thing twice. Once so I can actually take notes so I can record this podcast, and then a second time high.
That sounds like a great idea, actually.
That is my plan. Listen, there are so many dispensaries popping up in my neighborhood now that weed is, like, recreational weed is legal in New York. Fuck, buddy. I'm on it.
Like, there are so many episodes of season 2 that would be great for that. I mean, the one where they shrink down and go inside Megatron, the fucking Fantastic Voyage episode.
Yeah. You know, a little magic school bus for your woes. Yeah.
Uh-huh. With the evil brain impulses.
Oh, man. Autobop. Autobop would be so good high.
Yeah, but G1, so G1 is, like, obviously it's where it all began. And it's where...
And it's where it all should have ended.
It's the foundation of everything, and so many of the iconic characters we know and love today started here in some form or another. And obviously, because this is an 80s property, there's a lot of, like, slavish nostalgia bait in this franchise. They're just like, yo, you remember this guy, right? Well, here he is again. Oh, that's fine. I like those guys. You can pander to me if you want, Hasbro.
Like, and here's the other thing, like, the G1 designs, when they are actually implemented
On model, yeah.
Right, or not even on model, like, you know, when they're the right color, or you know, when you have 3 of the exact same guy, for example, in different colors. But, like, the designs when they're implemented are actually, like, good, fun designs. Like, it's solid design work, and it's because you had a combination of, like, mecha anime and, like, robot toy designers and car toy designers who were doing these. So they're like, the designs themselves hold up against the test of time. And part of that is 80s nostalgia, I'm not gonna lie. But, like, part of it is just that they look good. They do.
I definitely think when I compare and obviously it's kind of unfair because this is a show about robots and the thing I'm about to bring up is not. But when I compare these designs to a lot of the characters in He-Man or the old She-Ra or many of this show's contemporaries, you know, there's a reason that a lot of them have kind of fallen to the wayside and aren't quite the powerhouse that Transformers is.
Now, it's a little bit of a false equivalency because those other shows had human characters.
Yeah.
And it is much trickier to make sort of like and you know, I think actually Transformers did actually fall into the same pitfalls as some of those shows, and particularly when it comes to design based on gender.
Oh boy.
Right? Like, you know, Transformers was able to basically avoid that by the most part by not having female characters. And then when they did introduce female characters, well...
We'll get there. Season 2, baby.
Well, is what I will say about that.
But yeah, I mean, it is a thing, right? But you know, and maybe that's one of the reasons. Like, maybe Transformers knew that making an appealing human character using the shoestring budget cartoons operated on in the 80s was like a challenge. And granted, these designs rarely much resemble anything at all from the toys, right? Like, especially egregious is Ironhide and Ratchet, whose toys didn't even have proper heads because they were meant to be piloted by human pilots. So instead, what Hasbro did was they just, like, took the seat where you were supposed to put the pilot and drew a robot face on it behind the windshield.
But that is also the other thing that differentiates it and My Little Pony from, like, things like He-Man and She-Ra, etc., and some of these other contemporary shows is that they were designed to sell toys. And He-Man, listen, don't get me wrong, He-Man and She-Ra sold toys, but they were not but they weren't designed to do it. You know what I mean? They didn't come from a toy company.
Well, no, I think He-Man did. Did
He-Man?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that the show and the toy line were developed at the very same time. Because,
okay, like, never mind.
No, but I mean, you know,
I'm eating my own boot. It's fine.
I think the other show that has had the most successful run other than Transformers, the franchise that has had the most staying power from this era is probably Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, right?
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Yeah,
Because He-Man and
and
She-Ra,
My Little
obviously-
Pony.
Yes, and My Little Pony, but that's another Hasbro thing. TMNT is, I
Right.
believe, a Kenner product or something else. But like, because He-Man and She-Ra, obviously, they're still around in some form, but like, you're not gonna see the toys on shelves. You will still see turtle toys all over the goddamn place.
And even beyond that, though, like Transformers has sort of knocked all of them out of the power. And as much as I hate to admit it, it's because of Michael Bay.
Yeah.
Like it's because of the Bayverse that Transformers is sort of like the king of 80s nostalgia franchises right now.
They even tried to repeat that with the TMNT movies that he produced on to a much less successful degree. Those weren't unsuccessful movies, but they weren't quite the fucking infinite money generators that the live action Transformers movies are.
But I do think that speaks to the sort of like winning formula that Transformers has, which is again like wow, cool robot, right? Like it's like people will always love robots, and they'll always love cars, and they'll always love robots that turn into cars. Like that is just like that's not going to change. Like that is just like timelessly cool.
Every Transformers toy is not only a cool robot that turns into a cool car or animal or whatever, it's also a puzzle you get to do. Like you get to like turn it into its alternate mode and turn it back and do all that kind of stuff. It is very brilliant. There is no one that did it quite like them. And the cartoon, and to a lesser extent the Marvel comics, were a huge part of Transformers, like just like nailing itself into the brains of every child of the 80s, and thus ensuring that it will never ever die.
Yeah. Anyway, is there anything in particular about G1 that we want, the season 1, that we want to discuss here? Besides the fact that it's the peak of all television and entertainment ever created?
I should have prepared. I wanted to make a top 5 animation errors for this, because there were some good ones.
Okay, for me, 1 and 2 are the 2 3-star Scream Moons.
It keeps happening.
We get them twice. So nice, we did it twice.
I think, just like some quick accolades.
Prowl's missing face.
Oh god.
That's a good one.
Some quick accolades, yeah. So like, one thing I've never been able to stop thinking about since we covered it is that one fight scene in the cave from, I think, Transport to Oblivion, where everyone does a bunch of insane shit they never ever do again.
Yes! Yeah. No, I know. Yeah, that's it. I mean, that's not an animation error. It's just like, what do you mean you have an ejectable saw?
And I guess the episode that is basically a 30-minute long animation error, Heavy Metal War, featuring Bluimus Prime.
Oh man, you really missed we really missed an opportunity there to put Eiffel 65 into that episode for 10 seconds.
Ugh.
Listen, this is Transformers as a television show should never have existed after season 1, is what I will say.
Everyone
and I say that as someone...
everyone should have looked at this shit and goes, we can't.
I say this as someone who loves all of G1, particularly season 2, but also season 1 very, very, very much. This is not a show that should have ever existed, probably from its, like, inception, but certainly not after its first season. But, like, what a delight that it did, huh?
And of course, we give our hearty thanks to Ronald Reagan for relaxing regulations on children's television to allow such low-quality bullshit to be flooded into people's eyes.
By no means do you have to give it to Ronald Reagan, but...
All right. Let's move on to the questions here. And, we haven't forgotten about them. We still have plenty here. They're just, old.
Sorry about it. It turns out Nero and I are living people with things that come up in our lives.
Yes. Trust me, you would not have wanted to hear either the episode I would have recorded shortly before dental surgery when I just sounded like fucking droopy dog because I was in so much pain, or
I kind of want to hear that.
The episode we would have recorded last week when directly after moving in dental surgery, I developed a sinus infection and sounded like this.
That also kind of sounds like droopy dog.
Oh. All right. So first off,
sorry about you being in a lot of pain, though. I shouldn't have laughed at that.
It's all right. I got better.
They're dead, but they're fine.
I'm fine. Robinus Prime starts us off with a very good question. Man, how did this show persuade a whole generation that the Transformers were good? Actually, well, here's a secret about children. They're really stupid in a lot of ways. All you need to appeal to them is a lot of bright colors, and that's about it, really. Just like a lot of bright colors.
You know, Robin, it really has nothing to do with the show itself. It has to do with that winning combination I just talked about. That robots are timelessly cool, cars are timelessly cool, and robots that turn into cars are like beyond timelessly cool.
It's beautiful.
From like a conceptual standpoint, that was all that was needed.
Yeah, it's like they had the winning formula like on their desk as soon as they fucking saw that Diaclin shit in Japan, and their eyes turned into dollar signs. Matrix of Leaderthick, Sam in the Discord asks, if humans could drink something like Energon for sustenance, but you'd have to give up food for it, would you? More pertinently, if this was in the genesis of Transformers and one of the later series where it started, which do you think has the best shot of successfully launching the franchise like G1 did?
Food is one of the few pleasures in life. Why would you ever give it up?
Exactly. I would not. I mean, replacing Energon, that's basically just doing fucking Soylent or whatever.
Yeah.
Just a truly joyless existence.
Like, why would I do that when mac and cheese is right there?
Exactly. As for your second question, Sam, that's some like fucking paradox. Like I'm having to untangle things, and I think I do have an answer. I think I have an answer because it kind of did it did relaunch the franchise almost. I think if you put Armada in G1's place, it would still take off.
I think you could probably do any of the series and find success because, again, of that winning formula. My vote would be for Prime, just because it was the first time they tried to consolidate everything.
Yeah.
And I think having sort of like a multimedia, like if that was the launch of the series, of the franchise rather, and you know, you were hit sort of on all sides with like comics and a TV show and video games and an omnibus explaining the entire universe, as well as all the toys. And like there are really also unique designs, again, because of the CG and all of that. I think that would have probably, and it was a banger series and it did do very well commercially. So I think that would probably still take off. Though it also did have like the advantage of being put side by side with Friendship is Magic, which was obviously a cult classic,
right?
And took off in ways that like no one expected. So I think it was more on people's radar than Hasbro certainly expected. But that would be my vote for probably most likely.
Skyfire Sapphire Fire Cass in the chat asks, what was your favorite animation era? I mean, space-time fluctuation in G1 Season 1. You've already said.
3 Starscream Moon, yeah. 3 Starscream Moon, 3 Starscream Moon.
I mean, I love Bludimus Prime a lot. I think it's really funny because one of the other reasons is that shot lasts like 7 seconds. It's so long that he's blue. He's blue for so long.
For me with the Seekers, it's just the fact that A, it keeps happening, and B, it keeps cutting back to them.
Yes.
Like, none of the shots are particularly long, but it keeps happening, you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's that bit where I was confused whether it was supposed to be Starscream or Thundercracker for the longest time in a fight because it just kept miscoloring them, and I was like, all right, which one is the right one? Like, because it could be either one, honestly, but then it was Thundercracker's
and you can't even go by voices because they mistake voices as frequently as they mistake coloring.
True. Also from Cass, what do each of the Autobots do when Spike tries to film them for TikTok?
All right, okay, the ones who fully participate. Jazz,
Mhm.
Mirage,
Yeah.
Hound.
Well, I don't know about Mirage. He's kind of a snooty asshole.
No, Mirage loves the attention.
That's true.
Yeah, Jazz, Mirage, Hound, Cliff Jumper, Bumblebee.
Right.
The ones who have to get sort of dragged Blue Streak. The ones who have to get sort of dragged into it. Optimus, Ironhide, Ratchet and Wheeljack. Optimus does not participate. Prowl does not participate. That's what I meant.
He's the unwilling participant. He's the guy they do all the pranks on.
Yeah. They make him the recipient of the Ice Bucket Challenge.
Absolutely. And here we go. It's season.
I was about to say something about Red Alert, but we haven't gotten to him yet.
Oh, he would hate. Oh God! Don't let that boy near TikTok. Don't let him near TikTok. He's gonna be talking about the Giants in like no time. He's gonna get fucking giant pilled.
My God! Oh, he would have such a huge conspiracy theory following. Oh no!
You cannot let him anywhere near the internet. Do not let Red Alert online.
Infernal, control your man.
Inferno has so many fucking parental locks on all of Red Alert's fucking computers.
Listeners, these are all special tools that will come in handy later.
So, it's season wrap-up time, which means from voted best award host by default, Aurora Borealis. You all know what time it is. It's hang on. Let's go with the Spite Witwicky Bud Memorial Award for doing a bad job. We've got a doozy of award season, but first, let us pay respects to the Spark clones who couldn't make it tonight. Sad. Now, the categories are the I'm a Xenobiologist Award for most baffling misunderstanding of science facts, most negligent time Spike should have died.
Let's do these one at a time.
Okay, sure. All right, so the first one, the I'm a Xenobiologist Award for most baffling misunderstanding of science.
I might give this to Wheeljack for making the Dinobots with tiny brains.
Simple brains.
I think he understood the assignment, but not very well.
No, not really.
I mean, I can't like fault him for scientific fact, which is I think what the question is asking here, but I do think it had the most significant consequences.
For this one, I'm gonna give the propensity for this show to make big green crystals somehow related to the Earth's core. Still confused by all of that.
They're ruby crystals.
Oh God, don't talk about the fucking rubies from More Than Meets the Eye. That's another one.
They're ruby crystals, Nero. Haven't you heard of ruby crystals?
It's ruby crystals. They're an energy source. Don't you know?
A very potent one in Burma.
In Burma. We drove there.
Okay, second one is most negligent time Spike should have died. The space bridge.
Yeah.
Easy. Done.
Absolutely. Like.
No question.
Oh, God. There's also the time he got backhanded by Rumble. He wouldn't have died. He's just very funny.
Yeah, no, that wouldn't have killed him though, but he should have died with that space bridge at some point.
Oh,
he was in it.
Sure.
He was in it like 2 times.
He was in it a lot of times.
He was in it a lot.
He should be his corpse should be hurtling through the void right now. Like, come on. All right, the MLA award, the most laughable Autobot award. Which Autobot is the least useful? Okay.
Hey, Huffer.
Huffer, you fucking suck, and I hate you. I want you to leave.
Listen. You know how much. I'm sorry. With apologies to Gears, who doesn't suck that much.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and Trailbreaker, and I guess. And Windcharger. I guess that you know how bad an Autobot is when I didn't include them in the earlier response asking me what all Autobots do for TikTok. Yes,
but here's the thing. Here's the thing about Huffer, right?
Huffer sucks.
So Gears also complains about stuff sometimes, but Huffer does it more annoyingly and therefore is worse. And also, everyone else has an ability. They have abilities. Huffer doesn't have shit.
Also, like everyone else does it, but complaining occasionally is different than complaining being your personality.
So much
and that's
so that
Huffer's personality. His name is Huffer. His name is Huffer.
I'm glad he got killed off screen in Autobot City. I'm glad he's dead.
I'm glad Huffer... Jeanette McCurdy's I'm glad Huffer died.
Most valuable reflector extra. God, there are so many random generic reflector clones.
I guess there's all of them are on Cybertron with Shockwave.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the one they test the space bridge on, though, who hangs out with Shockwave in that one
That's
episode.
right. That's right. That's good. Yeah, no, but they're all up there with Shockwave, so they're all the MVP in my heart.
The entire Decepticon army on Cybertron is just Shockwave, a bunch of randomly colored Seekers, and just a fuck ton of reflectors.
Funniest off-model shit. I'm sorry. It is, well, there's off-model and then there's off-model. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
My instinct immediately was Prowl's missing face.
Yeah, just nominate all of Heavy Metal War, just all of it. Shit looked weird in that episode.
There's also like Widescream.
Oh fuck! I forgot about. I like Widescream a lot.
If we're going more traditional with the idea of off model, then I would say Widescream. If we're doing like just absolutely bonkers shit, it's Prowl's missing face.
Yeah. The Skywarp Can Teleport award for Transformers just refusing to use their power despite how useful it is.
I mean, it's the Elite Trine. It's all three of those assholes.
They use their
Well, I
power
guess Starscream
once.
doesn't really count because his outlier ability is immortality.
Yeah,
So.
he will be using it a lot later.
Right.
Um,
yeah, that's another secret tool that'll come in handy later.
Thundercracker literally never uses his.
And Skywarp, you can teleport.
I mean, it's the award's named after him. It kind of has to go to him because it's such a crazy useful ability that he just never uses.
And I would say, it's mostly the Decepticons who don't use their abilities. Like the Autobots maybe don't use their abilities as much as they should, but Mirage, you can see him dicking around invisibly, every 3 episodes or so, and Hound likewise is making clones of people all the time.
Trailbreaker's making all kinds of fucking force fields.
Windcharger uses his magnets
sometimes.
a whole once, but it was an important time, I guess.
Look, that's more than Thundercracker uses his ability. Damn.
He used it. He did use it in the first episode.
That's true. All right. Well, yeah, I think it's got to be the Elite Trine, boys.
Yeah.
You can do shit. Trust me.
You're the Elite Trine for a reason. Don't let Dirge, Ramjet, and Thrust take that away from you.
Honestly, I think they might use their respective abilities even less than the Elite Trine do. I don't know if they ever use their actual abilities.
Yeah. I think Dirge maybe does.
Yeah, but Ramjet never, does his run into shit thing, and Thrust never makes... He basically just has...
Thrust never has sex.
No, he's a conehead, so he's an incel.
It's true. They're the ugliest motherfuckers on the planet.
That's why Dirge is...
Remember when I was talking about how good the designs were in G1? Not the coneheads.
Nope.
Not those guys.
They did have Deceit in the Name award for the times the Decepticons did a good job at evil. Oh, this is going to be a hard one.
I mean, them bringing Cybertron to Earth without heed of destroying an entire planet because they didn't give a shit because the destruction would create the energy that they needed to revive their own dead planet. That's pretty evil, and they were pretty successful at it.
Yeah, both Megatron and Starscream get it for those 4 episodes because Starscream also he got pretty close to just blowing up Earth.
Starscream shockingly competent in G1.
Yeah. Favorite funny voice line. God.
A booby trap that actually catches boobies.
It's a classic. It's just so good.
It's a classic. It's good. Also, well, we haven't gone to it yet, but just Starscream's ah in the Nightbird episode.
Yes. God, there's Starscream pathetically going, I'm stupid.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
The eye when he tries to unsuccessfully shoot Megatron, he's like, oh. And then, of course, funny for not really the line, but just the saga it starts. It's Cliff Trevor going, I've got Megatron in my sights, and then missing completely.
And then I missed.
I fired again, and
then I missed.
There's also like, oh man, I mean, there's the entire saga of the fucking exploding football in Countdown to Extinction.
Yeah, the fucking Three Stooges bit that they do there. Whoop, 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 whoop.
And finally, the Past Was the Mistake Award for the most, oh right, this show was made by a bunch of coked out white guys in the 80s.
So I'm not sure about this.
There's a lot
this
more
is just,
of that in
yeah.
season 2 if you're talking about just bizarre shit happening.
I have to go with the Mayan episode again.
Yeah.
Mostly just because the depiction of the Peruvians was like, of the indigenous Peruvians there was like, not excellent.
No, but it was less extremely racist and more like baffling.
Right.
I don't know what happened there.
It could, listen, no one was called a slur, so
No.
we're up from other series of the time, I guess, but like, not excellent is what I will say.
No, not great.
I would say would not fly in 2023.
For sure. And from Cass, again, Skyfire, Sapphire, Fire, Fire. Outside of context from other Transformers media, which G1 bot is your favorite? Starscream.
Yeah, so if we're talking about, I don't know if you mean bot by like any of them or if you mean specifically Autobot. If we're talking about any of them, Starscream's just the funniest motherfucker ever created.
So funny.
Like, listen, he's my favorite in every continuity, but that's because they like peaked when they created him. He's the funniest character ever made. I love him so much.
Yeah. If we're going by Autobot, Wheeljack probably.
Yeah, that's a tough call, but it is going to be Wheeljack for me for sure.
For similar reasons, because he's just the funniest motherfucker alive.
They're so funny. And listen, in the comics, they're a good couple.
Yes. And she also asks, in context of knowledge, like that mostly means
still Starscream. Definitely Starscream.
Yeah, I mean, IDW1 Starscream is really quite good. It's probably, for me personally, either Soundwave or Grimlock.
Not Cyclonus?
There's one version of him that I love a lot, but the problem with that is that almost every other version of him is kind of boring.
That's true.
But IDW1 Cyclonus is probably my favorite Transformers character. He's just so drastically different from almost every other version of the character that he almost doesn't count to me. Like, that's just a different guy almost.
That's fair.
That's just a gay Catholic with
Cyclonus has become Catholic. Yeah, I mean, it's easy for me to say Starscream because Starscream has been in more continuities than any other character in the Transformers franchise. And we talked about this before, and that includes Optimus and Megatron because of Beast Wars and Beast Machines.
Right.
Where they are not technically Optimus and Megatron, but Primal and Megatronus. Mm-hmm. But Starscream is still Starscream.
We will see someday. He is in Beast Wars.
He is in Beast Wars, and he is Starscream.
And so is Ravage, and Ravage over the years has become Russian. I don't know why, but he has.
So it's really easy for me to say Starscream just because he's so ubiquitous and he's such a fan favorite. Like, that's why he's so ubiquitous.
Yes.
Is because everyone fucking loves him. But here's a thought for you. That's because he rules. Mm-hmm. That's because he's a great fucking character.
Everyone saw this guy in the 80s and instantly knew, oh, this guy rules. This guy's funny as fuck. Let's put him in everything.
Knowing other continuity stuff as well, RC's pretty high up for me. Mm-hmm. I really like RC in most continuities, and I think she has had the benefit, for better or for worse, of having the most sort of variation in her character.
Yes. Without
sort of completely, like Cyclonus, detaching from what that character was.
Because I think one of the things about RC in G1 is she was so blandly
Yeah.
woman character.
Right,
And,
yeah,
they can
she's-
just do whatever.
And on the same note, actually, Alita 1.
Yes. Even
Who-
more, perhaps, blandly
Yeah.
woman character than RC, because she's in less of the show.
Right. Like, those two characters, again, you know, RC's been in much, but if you take, like, RC from G1 to, like, the IDW1 comics to, Prime to, and, you know what, yeah, to animated,
Yeah.
I think that creates a really interesting, history for a character. And again, like, you can sort of see the evolution of her character through those things. Like, unlike Cyclonus, she's been in enough media that, like, you can actually see her change for better or for worse. We will not talk about Simon Furman. But you can actually see the evolution of her change there, and, like, you can sort of connect the dots, as opposed to having, like, this character who might as well just be a new character. You know what I mean?
Right. And finally, here in the Discord from Aurora once again, do you think Dinobots and Constructicons hang out and have snacks together when they're not in battle?
No,
No.
Dinobots don't have snacks with anyone. The G1 Dinobots, most of the Dinobots in all continuities hate everyone who's not a Dinobot, but, like, G1 in particular is like, I don't trust like that.
Yeah, they are off on their own. Like, almost every version of the G1 Dinobots are these, like, fucking grizzled, distrustful outsiders who just happen to be the biggest badasses in the universe. Yeah, they don't hang out. The Constructicons hang out with, like, the fucking bots, I guess.
I think they hang out with the Combaticons.
Oh, God.
God. I think Hook gets all of his surgery tools from Swindle.
There's still energon on this one. Nah, it's just like some jelly or something. Don't worry about that.
I think they trade so that the Combaticons get, like, free repairs.
Yep. Absolutely. Because they need them due to the fact that they're always getting their asses kicked.
Bruticus so good. So good.
Except really, really, really stupid. Just the dumbest motherfucker you've ever met in your life. And he's covered in guns.
Combiner. The cooler combiner.
Look, Devastator is certainly not bright. I'm never going to accuse Devastator of being smart. He is
well,
at least.
He is.
Well, depending on who's the head,
Yeah.
but
depending if someone gets forcibly kidnapped into a polycule.
Yeah, but normal configuration of Devastator, kind of pretty dumb, but, like, normal dumb. Bruticus is just he's quite something else. We'll get there.
By Onslaught, like, what do you?
Yeah, they have less group cohesion than the fucking Constructicons. Think about that for a moment.
But you know what's really fucked up? More group cohesion than the Stunticons.
Oh, Menasor is not. He's just like a fucking natural disaster.
Motormaster is so normal.
He's a normal guy.
These are all fun tools that will come in handy in season 2.
And we actually have one last question on Twitter from Thotimus Prime, Chasblabs, at Chasblabs. You're a kid in the 80s watching this, and the hottest thing in that era is the cross-promotional cartoon continuity crossovers. Pitch me your ideal, or just really funny, G1 crossover episodes with whoever. What's funny is that this basically exists now. That's the,
Yeah.
I forget what that line is called, but there's, like, the fucking Autobot who is the DeLorean from Back to the Future. The Autobot who is the fucking Ecto-1 from Ghostbusters. There's an entire comic where they hang out with the cast of the original Star Trek. There's a Terminator crossover comic. Like, they realize that they've been fucking losing time on these cheesy 80s crossovers, and they're just fucking pumping them out these days.
No, I got it. Tron.
Oh, fuck.
Tron came out in 1982. I just looked it up.
Yes.
Tron.
How would the Tron crossover go?
They're the motorcycles.
Oh, fuck. They're the light cycles. They could also be the weird,
they're literally like
thingies.
they're literally every machine in the digital world.
And then you get, like, it's like the Autobots have to go into the digital world to save Spike, who's been kidnapped by a fucking evil computer virus, and they're led by Chip Chase, who is their like human friend, who taking them through the virtual digital world.
And Sora is there. It's great.
Data Riku. I think there could have been a very powerful Transformers and Ninja Turtles crossover. Like,
yeah, you're right. No, they could.
Shredder makes a mech. Shredder like steals and brainwashes one of the combiner teams, and the Turtles have to call in the Autobots. Krang is there.
I mean, there couldn't have been because rival toy companies. Oh, but yes, that would have been.
There's no way they would have done it. Well, in that case, they could have had a crossover with My Little Pony. Those are the same.
Yeah.
Or Gem.
The other idea that came to mind, and this is a little late because it's 1990, is Captain Planet.
Fuck. I mean, Megatron literally is just a Captain Planet villain for most of it.
Yeah,
right? Like he's
literally
just doing ecological terrorism.
Yeah. The G1 is very focused on environmental stuff.
And I should say the one 80s property that Transformers does actually cross over with constantly is obviously G.I. Joe.
Mr. G.I. Joseph himself.
There are like fucking 7 different Transformers versus G.I. Joe comics from like 4 different imprints. It's crazy. But yeah, that's the one because obviously same toy company, same era, generally the same vibe.
Same audience is
same
the more important part than the vibe is that it's, targeting.
They only ever
boys.
actually crossed over once though, because the Cobra Commander is in an episode of season 3 of G1, and another Marissa Fairborn, who is like the main human character other than Daniel in season 3, is I think Duke and Scarlet's daughter or something.
Oh, what would have been interesting?
What?
Voltron.
Oh yeah, that would have been interesting.
It kind of makes me think of like the ROM comics.
Oh yeah, ROM the Space Knight. All right. That is all for our questions and all for our season wrap of G1, which means it's time for me to reveal finally what we'll be talking about after this hiatus.
You'll never guess.
It's Beast Wars. I'm picking Beast Wars next.
Nero wants me specifically to suffer, so I will.
Beast Wars. Now, I'm never going to say to anyone that Beast Wars is a show that has aged well in the animation department, because all of you have eyes.
It's a rough watch.
They do get better. It does get better as they go along. They get better models. They get better the backgrounds are the big one. They get better backgrounds.
Listeners, don't listen to them. The bar is on the ground.
Look, it still looks better than Energon does, at least. Once again, the bar is underground. But the thing about Beast Wars is that a shocking amount of modern Transformers lore originates in Beast Wars, not G1. Sparks are a thing that first was established in Beast Wars. The Covenant of Primus is a thing that first appeared in Beast Wars. There's so many things that, like, Beast Wars specifically is responsible for canonizing into, like, franchise history. And also, I think it's still a very solid show in terms of, like, writing and character work. It's just fun. And if we can appreciate this show's terrible animation, we can look past Beast Wars' janky-ass animation. Perhaps I will. Perhaps I will be the Beast era connoisseur. What if I come out of this and I think Beast Machines is the best Transformers show? I don't think that'll happen, but it could happen.
Oh, that might be the end of the podcast.
We'll have to sever this fucking professional partnership and never talk to each other again. I have to go live in the mountains with the rest of the Beast Machines enjoyers.
All 2 of them.
All 2 of them. Two as a high,
generous.
Guess.
Yeah. Listen, who knows, listeners? Obviously, Beast Wars, I think, is a very important show for the franchise's canon. Not only in terms of the things Nero just described that it introduced and sort of, canonized, but also that it was willing to experiment with this new style of animation very poorly, mind you, but that, it was willing. I think Beast Wars demonstrates a willingness from Hasbro that would treat it well moving forward to sort of adapt with the times. And say, like, okay, cars are out, animals are in, let's go, let's do it.
Yes.
2D's out, 3D is in, let's go, let's do it. While I may not like to look at it, I do appreciate sort of the boundaries that it was pushing, and it is obviously, the Beast Wars is a huge fan favorite, particularly among people my age, in their late millennials, shall we say, people in their early 30s now.
90s kids love Beast Wars.
Yeah, basically, literally. So who knows? Maybe I'll watch Beast Wars. I never watched Beast Machines, but maybe I'll watch Beast Wars, and this time I'll love it. I won't, but maybe I will.
You find it in your heart to appreciate Rat Trap.
I do love Rat Trap. Rat Trap.
Rat Trap. Yo, I'm from Brooklyn. It's me, Rat Trap. Hey.
I think it was really brave of them to make a canonically gay rat.
Yeah, and so I usually like to talk a little bit about the sort of place the thing has in this part of the episode. We don't clog up the premiere, but I didn't prepare much. But I will say, as a reminder for what Beast Wars kind of represents, in everywhere except the United States, Transformers was doing fine. It had a bunch of Japanese follow-ups to G1. There were the European comics and toy lines that continued after G1 ended in the States in 1990. Over here, it was basically a dead brand. G2 flopped horrendously in the United States. It did pretty well in Europe because they love those fucking hideous colors. But over here...
And also because they had the Marvel UK comics
yes.
to reinforce them.
Yes, they actually had media. All we had was like re-airs of G1 with terrible CGI edited into it for like bumpers and stuff. And after that, it was like 2 years of nothing. And Hasbro was trying to figure out what they could do to reinvigorate. And they had the idea to like make them all animals and go really, really hard into like toy engineering to make them extremely posable and very advanced as compared to the fucking bricks of plastic that most G1 toys are. Even towards the end, most G1 toys were just these fucking bricky ass motherfuckers. And so they went to Canadian studio Mainframe for the animation, who of course also did beloved show Reboot.
Reboot is beloved. Come on now.
It looks worse than Beast Wars, though.
I didn't say anything about... Listen, I also said that Beast Wars is beloved, just not by me.
So that's how Beast Wars kind of happened. It has 3 seasons, and like I said, it holds this very unique place in the franchise. And of course, because 80s nostalgia is out and 90s nostalgia is in, the next Transformers movie is Beast Wars themed. It's Rise of the Beasts. All the guys from the Beast Wars are back. They're here. I don't think Cheetor's gun will be his ass if I think they're too cowardly to make that the case. But
I hate to say it, but it looks good.
It looks good.
The thing about it is, it do look good.
I simply do not see. I do not perceive Pete Davidson Mirage. I simply do not see it.
I absolutely do. Are you kidding me?
It's pretty funny.
Mirage has fucked Kim Kardashian. Come on now.
he would. Where's that episode of you?
It's the power glide in Astoria.
Season 2 G1's gonna be a good time. So, over the course of this lengthy hiatus, anyone wants to guest on any of the Beast Wars episodes, please feel free to contact me. Not Audrey, as you will be on vacation in.
I mean, you can try to contact me. I just won't answer.
You're just gonna be chilling on the beach.
I super am. I'm taking 3 bathing suits, baby.
And so yeah, contact me and I will get you in. There's a lot of fun episodes to be had in season 1 of Beast Wars. And yeah, so that'll be another short one. I think there are only 13 episodes of season 1 of Beast Wars, if I remember correctly. It's not a very long show because it was so fucking expensive.
And it paid off. Look at
can
how
see the
good
money,
it looks.
You can see the money right on the screen. Hey, that was a lot of money back in the 90s.
Listen, you know what? It did pay off. Like, not necessarily in the way it looks, but in the returns, like they got their ROI. So,
and maybe they fucked it all up in the sequel series. But hey, that's a story for another time.
Which I've never watched, so I can't wait.
Oh, it's gonna be great. That's gonna be one of the few times we're both just completely blind and have no idea what's going on.
I think that might be the only time we're both completely blind. Well, no, that I guess
I've never seen Cyberverse,
but I have.
You have.
But I have. Neither of us have seen Earthspark, so that'll be new.
That'll be new. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this episode. Of course, I'm Nero. You can find me on Twitter at DragonSmoocher. Find me on Tumblr at Cyclonus. Last S with a 5 instead. And on co-host at Dragon Snuggler. And you can find my various other projects in various other places, such as Radio Free Heidelin, which has also been on hiatus recently because of the same reasons this was on hiatus mostly. At Heidelin Radio, we're going to boot that back up. We're going to spin the Patreon back up. It's been on a break for a really long time, but we're going to get our shit together. We're gonna start pumping out those Final Fantasy XIV companion podcasts. And of course, that is something I do with my friend Jane. Also with her, I did a show called The Podcast of Power at Podcast of Power, all about the 2018 reboot of She-Ra, which is a good-ass show. And I am currently on hiatus from it, but you can find my voice on a large majority of the episodes of Disney Minus at Disney Minus Pod on Twitter. I don't know what they're doing right now. I think
because you're on hiatus.
Because I'm on hiatus, but they're still going. They're still doing stuff, and that'll be it for me.
I'm Audrey. You can find me on Tumblr, Twitter, and co-host, although there's nothing on that last one, at Optimum on Prime. That's my funny robot internet joke. You can also listen to the other podcast I do called Pot of Greed. It's about Yu-Gi-Oh! We've just started season 1 of 5Ds, and so far it fucks severely. That's at Pot of Greed cast. I've also been cast in the pilot of a new audio drama. Can't share any more information with you guys about that right now. But I've listened to some of the clips of the completed scenes, and it's good. So I can't wait to share more information about that soon. And I'm starting a new podcast as well with a friend of mine on the Moonshot Network. That I don't have more information about right now, but I can tell you it is about the New York food scene. So, wait around for more news about that. I think that's it. So, until next time, I'm gonna... do we want a Noise Space? Haha!
Yeah,
we are on Noise Space. Folks, we are on Noisepace. That's at noisepace.xyz. It's a network we're very happy to be a part of. There's lots of other good stuff there. We've talked about it before. I'm not going to mention names right now, but give that a listen. Join our Discord. If you join now, you'll get to be here in time for Dark at the Moon. What a treat for you.
Dark at the Moon, the rave reviews are in. It's not as racist as the second one.
And less children are killed.
I think more children might be killed, actually.
Eggs.
Considering
Eggs.
what happens.
Eggs.
Oh, the eggs, right, okay.
Eggs.
No Cybertronian children are harmed in the making of Dark of the Moon. Human children, get back to us on that.
Who cares? We do a bunch of fun stuff besides that. Again, like Nero and I have been a little bit AWOL the past few weeks because of stuff in our lives, but we do Jackbox nights. We have like a pretty nice community there, so join our Discord. And I think that is actually it now.
That will be it, yes.
Yeah, so until next time, I'm going to pack my suitcase for a month-long trip, transform and roll out.
I'm going to go what the kids call gorilla mode. Transform and roll out.
Peach.
Peach.
Love that Gorilla Glue.